Hello guys! Welcome back to my channel. It's me again, Lakwatsirong Butike. Mula doon sa makasaysayang simbahan ng Norsagaray, Bulacan, ang St. Andrew the Apostol Parish, nakatawid na ako ngayon dito sa bago, ngunit makasaysayan rin na simbahan ng Lolomboy, Bukawi, Bulacan, ang Nuestro Señor Jesucristo Parish, o mas kilala sa pangalan na Diocesan Shrine of St. Andrew Kim Tae-Gon. Samahan niyo ako dito guys! St. Andrew Kim Tae-Gon was born in August 21, 1821 in Nol-Mae, Cheongchong Province in South Central Korea. At the age of 7, the Kim family moved to Golbe-Masil, Mankok-ri, Yeongjin-gun County, Gyeonggi Province. Kim's great-grandfather, Kim Jin-ho, was martyred in 1814. Kim's grand-uncle, Kim Han-hyun, was also martyred in 1816. Kim's father, Kim Ji-jun, Ignatius Kim, was subsequently martyred in 1839 for practicing Christianity. With so many male relatives martyred, Kim grew up very poor. His mother reduced to begging. During the 1592 invasion of Korea by Japan, Japanese soldiers introduced Christianity into Korea by baptizing Koreans. A Japanese commander, Kunishi Yukinaga, took a Korean girl, Julia Utaa, to Japan, and she became one of the first Korean Christians. Father Gregorius D. Cespedes, a Jesuit priest, visited Kunishi in Korea in 1593. Korean diplomat Yi Gwangjong returned to Korea from Beijing, bearing several theological books written by Matteo Ricci, a Jesuit priest living in China. During the late Joseon dynasty and under its Confucian influence, Christianity was heavily suppressed and many Christians were persecuted and executed. Kim Tae-Gon was born into this environment, and just one of several thousands of Catholic Christians who were tortured and executed because of their faith during this time. In 1866, Regent Hyungseon Daewongun, father of King Gojong, signed a decree to execute all Catholics. Over 2,000 Catholics were beheaded at Diocesan Beheading Hill. Their bodies were thrown into the Han River. Some were as young as 13, fewer than 40 were identified. At this time, Korea was isolated from the world, the only outside contact being with Peking, where taxes were paid. Jesuits in China managed to smuggle Christian literature into Korea. In 1836, Korea saw its first consecrated missionaries arrive, only to find out that the people there were already practicing Korean Catholics and Koreans were already practicing Christianity. After being baptized at age 15, Kim studied at a seminary in the Portuguese colony of Macau. He was ordained a priest in Shanghai after 9 years in 1844 by the French Bishop Jean-Joseph Jean Baptisti Feriol. According to research by writers, during the time when Christians were persecuted and executed in Korea, at the age of 16, he was a seminarian at that time when he went to Macau as a scholar of the Parish Foreign Mission Society. The Civil War in China between 1837 to 1839 erupted that forced him to seek refuge and study in a Dominican convent located in Lulumboy, Bulacan. His knowledge in French made him an interpreter of Admiral Cecil of the French Army, an ally of Spain, went to Manila in 1842. He lived in Lulumboy in 1837, 1839, and 1841. He then returned to Korea to preach and evangelize. During the Joseon dynasty, Christianity was suppressed and many Christians were persecuted and executed. Catholics had to covertly practice their faith. Kim was one of several thousand Christians who were executed during this time. In 1846, at the age of 25, he was tortured and beheaded near Seoul on the Han River. On May 6, 1984, Pope John Paul II canonized Kim along with 102 other Korean martyrs, including Paul Chung-Hasang, during his trip to Korea. Their memorial is commemorated every September 20. Since the establishment of the town of Bukawi by the Franciscan friars in 1606, Lulumboy had always been under the jurisdiction of its parish, Saint Martin of Tours. During that time, Lulumboy was a hacienda run by the Dominican friars that covered a large portion of the province of Bulacan. When the towns of Pandi and Bigaa, now Balagtas, were separated from Bukawi, Lulumboy was reduced to a barrio, the largest and most populous in Bukawi. The faithful of Lulumboy went to the Bukawi church to celebrate sacraments there, most especially during important occasions, while looking after a simple chapel at the center of the barrio that housed an image of the crucified Christ. The ecclesiastical status of Lulumboy remained that way until on May 14, 1959, through the decree of His Eminence Rufino Cardinal Santos, Archbishop of Manila. Lulumboy became the first parish daughter of Saint Martin of Tours Parish under the title of Parroquia de Nuestro Señor Jesucristo de Lulumboy. Immediately, Reverend Father Emilio del Rosario, the first parish pastor, had the chapel reconstructed to become a small church. Several renovations followed through the efforts of his 5 successors. The major renovation took place during the tenure of Reverend Father Rinaldo Fernando Jr. On May 22, 1986, 2 years after the canonization of the 103 martyrs of Korea, His Excellency Most Reverend Cirilo Almario Jr., D.D., then Bishop of Malolos, and His Eminence Stephen Cardinal Kim, then Archbishop of Seoul, with Reverend Father Ray Fernando, installed Saint Andrew Kim Tae-Gon as the secondary patron of the parish. They also blessed the site believed to have been the place where Andrew Kim stayed when he was still a seminarian. They inaugurated a bronze monument of the Korean saint in that area. This became Saint Andrew Kim Shrine. Further developments in the shrine started to take place in 2001 when the Korean religious congregation of the Sisters of Saint Andrew Kim arrived. More adjacent pieces of land were purchased and building with Korean-inspired architecture was erected. In the same year of the arrival of the Korean sisters, Reverend Father Abilino Sampana, Father Ray's successor, realized that the size and location of the church is no longer fit for the spiritual needs of the community. Thus, he spearheaded the construction of a new and larger church, dubbed Project Pangarap. Thousands of people generously donated whatever they can to help the parish achieve its dream. It was during his term that the large area where the new church now stands was purchased and officially turned over to the Roman Catholic Diocese of Malolos. Reverend Father Vicente Robles was later assigned to our parish. He took on the responsibility of having the church building constructed. It took the parish several more years before the structure was ready. On November 30, 2017, the dedication of the new parish church, the realization of the Pangarap, took place. The solemn ceremony was presided by His Eminence Gaudencio Cardinal Rosales, Archbishop Emeritus of Manila, who was assisted by His Excellency Bishop Deogracias Iñiguez, Bishop Emeritus of Caloocan. On January 30, 2021, Most Reverend Dennis C. Villarojo, Bishop of Malolos, elevated our parish as the Diocesan Shrine of Saint Andrew Kim Tae-Gon, and appointing our parish priest, Reverend Father Vicente Robles, as the first rector of the shrine. Magtatakip silim na guys. Kailangan nang umuwi ang butiki. Next Tuesday, magpa-Santa Maria Bulacan na ako. 2 makasaysayang simbahan ang puntiryahin ko doon. Ang Our Lady of Mount Carmel Parish sa Pulong Buhangin at ang Minor Basilica and Parish of La Purísima Concepcion sa poblasyon mismo. Abangan nyo ako doon guys! Bye-bye!